The alien DM that changed my life. Jason was sitting alone in his small room, as usual. It was a rainy night, and the soft tapping sound on the window made everything feel slower. His laptop screen glowed in the dark, and his fingers moved lazily on the keyboard. He was scrolling through random sci-fi forums, because he had nothing better to do. Jason was a curious type of guy, and he liked weird stuff. He didn't have many friends, so the internet was like his second home. He clicked on a thread that said alien communication experiments. It sounded fake but funny, so he scrolled down and laughed at some of the memes. But then his eyes stopped at a comment. It had a cute alien GIF with big eyes and small hands waving. The username was something strange like Zari_7 Galax. The caption read, "A gift for you, Earth Boy." Jason smiled and saved the GIF to his desktop. It was cute and harmless, and he thought nothing of it. He even made it his phone wallpaper just for fun. But a few minutes later his screen flickered. His laptop glitched and froze for 5 seconds. Then it restarted by itself. Jason raised an eyebrow and whispered, "Weird." He stood up and went to grab a snack. When he came back, something felt different. His phone was glowing even though it was locked, and then suddenly the GIF appeared on the screen by itself. It was waving again, but this time it blinked twice. Jason stared at it confused. He tried to turn the phone off, but the screen stayed on. Then a strange message appeared under the GIF. It said, "Contract received, thank you, Earth Boy." Jason laughed nervously and said, "Okay, what kind of prank is this?" He checked the forum again, but the thread was gone. The whole page disappeared like it was never there. Later that night, when Jason went to sleep, he had a very strange dream. He was floating in space with stars all around him. He couldn't move, but he wasn't afraid. He saw a shape in the distance moving closer. It looked like a girl, but her skin was blue and her hair was silver. Her eyes were glowing softly, and her voice echoed inside his head. She said, "You accepted the bond." Jason tried to speak, but his mouth wouldn't move. She raised her hand and a light touched his chest. He felt a burning sensation, and then everything went white. He woke up gasping for air. His heart was racing and his shirt was soaked with sweat. He ran to the mirror in panic and looked at himself. There was a glowing symbol on his left hand. It looked like a spiral with 3 tiny stars inside it. It was slowly fading, like it was sinking into his skin. Jason stood there for 5 minutes trying to process everything. This had to be a dream. He splashed cold water on his face again and again. But the symbol was still there. Then his phone buzzed. He picked it up and saw a message. No number, no contact, just a line of glowing text. It said, "Contract accepted. Welcome, mate. Interstellar union pending." Jason dropped the phone and stared at it like it was cursed. He had no idea what to do. He had just accepted a cute GIF from a stranger, and now some alien system was calling him a mate. Spent the whole day trying to find that forum again, but every search led to dead ends. No record of the thread, no trace of the user. Even the GIF was missing from his desktop. It was like someone deleted all signs of it then. At night his phone buzzed again. This time it was a video message. The screen turned black and then a face appeared. It was her, the same girl from his dream. She looked more real now. Her voice was calm and clear. "Hello, Jason," she said. "My name is Azari. I am from the 9th Star Belt. You have accepted my communication token by ancient law of my people. This confirms the bond." Jason was frozen. He didn't know if he was scared or just shocked. Azari smiled gently and said, "Do not worry, I mean no harm. Our species bonds through thought, not words. You responded to my frequency, and now we are linked." Jason opened his mouth to speak, but the video ended. His phone went dark again. He stood there in silence. His heart was pounding. What did she mean by bond? Was this some alien joke, or did he really do something without knowing? And why did she look at him like she knew him? As he sat back down on his bed, a soft blue light appeared on his ceiling. Tiny glowing symbols circled above him. They moved like stars dancing. Then his phone buzzed one last time that night. The message said, "Prepare yourself, Earth Boy. The stars remember their promise. She says I'm her husband. Wait, Wu-Chan-ji. Jason didn't sleep the next night. He couldn't. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw stars. Every time he blinked, he felt like something or someone was watching. He had tried deleting the messages. He had tried turning off his phone. He even unplugged his Wi-Fi and shut down his computer. But still the glowing spiral on his hand would shine faintly every few hours, like it was breathing. With him, like it was alive, the world around him kept moving. Cars passed by his window. People walked down the street. But Jason felt like he was floating outside of reality. He kept asking himself one thing. Was it a dream? Was it just in his head? But then came the knock on the door, not a normal knock, not wood against wood. It was a soft hum, like metal fingers tapping with rhythm. Jason stood frozen in the hallway. He didn't invite anyone. He didn't order anything. He peeked through the small eye-hole. There was no one there. But something hovered outside his door, small, round, floating, like a basketball with blinking lights. It pulsed softly in the air and released a quiet chime. Jason opened the door. Slowly the object hovered forward and then unfolded like a flower. A tiny hologram popped out. And there she was. His serrier face was calm but serious. Her eyes glowed like moonlight on water. She didn't speak with her mouth. Her voice arrived inside Jason's thoughts. You didn't respond. I feared rejection. You accepted the token willingly. The bond is real. You are now recognized as my chosen mate. Jason took 2 steps back. He shook his head like he was trying to erase sound. He wanted to laugh. He wanted to scream. But no sound came out. Zari blinked slowly. I understand Earth emotions are not as direct as ours. But my people will recognize this bond by tomorrow. And your planet will soon be marked for diplomatic entry. Jason finally managed to speak. No. I didn't agree to marry anyone. I thought it was a joke, a meme, a funny gif. Zari tilted her head. Earth uses images to express deep thought. You said so in your data. The token was understood. Jason sat down. Right there on the floor. His legs were shaking, his breath shallow. His heart running a marathon. He whispered, I can't be married. I don't even know you. Zari's face softened. There's time for knowing, time for learning. But the bond has begun, and others will sense it. Just then the hologram blinked and vanished. The floating device zipped back into the sky. It disappeared like a dream. No sound, no light. Jason ran back inside and locked his door. He sat in silence for a long time. He didn't touch his phone. He didn't move. He didn't blink. But the night wasn't over. At exactly 3 in the morning, his room began to glow. Not bright, but soft like moonlight through clouds. He looked up. His ceiling was full of moving symbols, lines and stars and spinning orbits. His phone turned on by itself. A message appeared. Welcome to the Interstellar Spouse Network. Partner confirmed. Cultural packet. Uploading arrival in 6 Earth hours. Jason stared at it in disbelief. Arrival? What arrival? Who was coming? Suddenly a map of his neighborhood appeared on the screen. A single bright dot hovered over his building. Text blinked beside it. Embassy drone en route. Prepare for visitation. Human companion registered as Jason. He didn't sleep. He didn't even blink. He watched the map all night. And right as the sun was about to rise, a strange humming sound filled the air. Jason opened his window. Above his building, floating silently, was a ship. Not big, not shiny, but definitely not from Earth. It looked like a teardrop made of light. It shimmered like water, but hovered in air, and inside it, he could see her. Zari, eyes closed, hands glowing, coming closer. She opened her eyes and looked at him, right into him, through walls, through fear. She smiled and said nothing, but he heard her clearly in his mind. We begin today, my bond. Interstellar customs are CRAs and had never seen anything like it. The ship didn't land with sound or smoke or flames. It simply folded into existence like it stepped through a curtain. 1 second it wasn't there, and the next it was hovering. Outside his balcony, Zari floated down gently, as if gravity didn't matter. She wasn't wearing anything dramatic, just a soft robe that shimmered like fish scales. Her feet didn't touch the ground, but she moved like she had always belonged there. Jason stood in his living room, trying to act normal. His heart was running faster than a car engine. He had never had a girl visit him before, let alone a glowing alien who claimed to be his wife. Azari entered his home like she knew the layout. She walked straight to the sofa and sat with her legs crossed. Her eyes scanned the walls like they were made of secrets. Jason cleared his throat. Do you want water or something?" Zari blinked slowly. "Water from your home contains minerals not found in Sector 9. I would like to observe its taste. Please present your offering." Jason rushed to the kitchen and returned with a plain glass of water. Zari sniffed it. She stared at it. Then she dipped one finger in and smiled. "This is excellent. Very neutral. I accept this as a sign of peace between our homes." Jason sat across from her, confused and nervous. She looked around again and tilted her head. "Is this where you perform your sleep ritual?" Jason nodded slowly. "Yes, that's my bed over there." She stood up and walked toward it. She examined the pillow, then held it to her ear like she was listening to a story. Jason got up quickly. "Wait, what are you doing?" Zari turned to him. "In my culture we share dream codes. On the first visit we place our heads together and transfer safe thoughts. Would you like to begin now or wait until I finish studying your food objects?" Jason's mind was spinning. He tried to change the topic. "Do you want to see the kitchen?" Zari's eyes sparkled. "Yes, show me the fire machine where you prepare offerings." They walked to the kitchen. She looked at the microwave like it was ancient treasure. She opened the fridge and stared at the ketchup for a full minute. Jason laughed nervously. That's not dangerous. It just tastes funny." Zari nodded seriously. "This bottle is shaped like sacred vessels used in the flame markets of Myroth. I believe it contains red seed fluid." Jason gave up trying to correct her. He just watched as she touched every spoon like it was a rare artifact. Then she turned to him and asked, "Where is the ceremony room?" Jason blinked. "The what?" "The ceremony room. The place where you play your bonding song. You accepted the contract, so your species must have ritual audio. Where do you keep the music crystals?" Jason had no idea what to say, but he remembered something. He pointed to his phone. "We use this for music," Zari gasped. "You store music in your artifact. Impressive. Please play your bonding song so I may imprint its rhythm." Jason hesitated. He didn't know what a bonding song was, so he nervously opened Spotify and played something soft. It was an old Earth Love song. Zari closed her eyes. She raised both hands in the air and began to move slowly in a circle. She hummed a strange melody that somehow matched the tune. Jason just stood there watching her, not scared, just lost in the moment. After a few minutes she stopped and looked at him. Her voice was warm. "This song is simple, honest. It will do." Jason sat down slowly. "I still don't understand any of this. Why me? Why Earth? Why that GIF?" Zari walked toward him. She sat beside him and placed a glowing crystal on the table. "You touch the token with true emotion. Our tech reads that across space, across minds. Your signal matched my frequency. That is rare. That is law." Jason leaned back and tried to breathe. Zari tilted her head again. "You are nervous, I understand, but the bond is real, and now others will come to test it. We must prepare for trials. Your planet will attract attention." Suddenly, her wrist lit up with red symbols. She stood up fast. "They are early. A scout ship is near, not friendly. We must hide your energy signature." Now Jason's TV exploded in static. His lights flickered, and from outside, a loud hum shook the window. Shari grabbed his hand. Her skin was warm. Her voice was calm. "You invited me here with a GIF. Now you must defend that choice together. We're being hunted." Because of a meme, the air felt different. Jason could feel it in his bones. Not cold, not hot, just strange. Like gravity had changed its men. Zari stood near the window with both hands glowing blue. Her eyes stared into the sky like she could see what others could not. She whispered something Jason could not understand. A soft hum echoed through the room. His walls flickered with symbols. Everything around him shimmered for 1 second. Then the light vanished. Jason stepped forward. "What was that? What's happening?" Zari turned to him with her voice low and calm. "A ship is above us. A hunter. It is scanning for bonding frequencies. Our link is like a beacon in their system. We must cloak our signal. Jason blinked fast. Wait, we're being hunted because of a GIF. Zari nodded slowly. Not just a GIF, you accepted an ancient contract, unauthorized by the Galactic Council, that makes us both targets. Jason sat down before his knees gave out. He held his head in both hands. This is insane. I just clicked a file. Now someone wants to kill me. Zari walked to the center of the room. She placed a round silver disc on the floor. It opened silently, revealing a small crystal core that pulsed like a heartbeat. This is a cloaking seed. It will hide our presence for now. But we must move soon. Earth's surface is not stable enough for extended defense. Jason looked up. You mean leave Earth, like just fly away? Zari gave a soft nod. If the hunter locks onto your location, they will send a retrieval beam. Your planet may be marked for contamination. Your people will panic. Your governments will react with force. And that always ends badly. Jason stood up, his voice shaky but louder. No. I'm not running. This is my home, my world. My room still smells like pizza and socks. I'm not leaving it because of some galactic paperwork error. Zari stepped closer. She placed her hand over the mark on his skin. The spiral glowed softly beneath her touch. Then we must fight, not with weapons, but with proof. We must show the Council that our bond is real, not forced, not faked. Only then can the hunt be stopped. Before Jason could reply, the window cracked, not from outside, but from vibration. The air shimmered again, and then he saw a dark shape floating silently above the neighborhood. No lights, no sound, just a moving shadow in the sky. The clouds bent around it, like it was bending space itself. Jason whispered, "Is that it, the hunter?" Ship. Zari's voice entered his mind. Yes, they do not announce arrival. They just scan, observe, strike if needed. Jason backed away from the window. What do they want from me? They want your silence. They want the bond undone. You are a risk to their order. Suddenly the light in his room turned red. The crystal on the floor vibrated. Zari rushed to the disc and slammed her palm on it. They found a trace. We must leave this location now. Jason grabbed his jacket. What about the people here? My neighbors, my cat. I don't even have a cat, but what if I did? Zari looked at him with a mix of kindness and urgency. If we stay, everyone near you becomes part of the problem. The hunter does not care for innocent rules. It sees only disruption. The room started to hum. Small objects floated in the air. A sound like deep breathing filled the walls. Jason's phone cracked without being touched. His screen displayed a red message. TA acquired. Zari reached for Jason's hand. Her grip, strong but gentle. The ship outside turned slightly, like it had spotted them. A red beam began forming at the bottom of the shadow. It didn't fire. Not yet. It just waited, watching. Zari pulled Jason toward the wall. She pressed a silver pin against the surface. A circle of light opened, like a door made of stars. Jason stared at it wide-eyed. That's a portal. Like in movies. Zari nodded once. Not like movies, this is real, and is the only way to survive the next 10 seconds. Jason looked back one last time at his room, his posters, his couch, his empty pizza box. Then he stepped through the light. The world stretched. Colors melted, sound vanished, and then silence, complete deep silence. They had escaped, but the hunt had just begun. I learned what she really is. Jason fell through light, not air, not space, but something else, something that felt like memory and electricity. His body didn't tumble. It dissolved and reappeared. He landed on soft ground, grass that shimmered, blue sky that shifted colors with every blink. He stood still for a long moment. Then he whispered to himself, "This is not Earth." Zari stood beside him, silent, watching. The Kofung world around them pulsed like a living dream. Strange trees twisted toward the sky. Floating stones drifted between hills. Water flowed upward instead of down. Jason turned to her. "You said we were escaping, but this is another planet." Zari nodded slowly. "This is my birthplace, but I am not fully welcome here anymore." Jason stepped forward carefully. "Why, what are you really?" Zari's eyes lowered. She touched the mark on his hand. It glowed again, stronger now. My people are not just from the stars. We are from before the stars were counted. My bloodline traces to the arc thread, one of the oldest sentient lines in the known sectors. And I am not just a citizen. I am something more. Jason felt cold and warm at the same time. Wait, are you saying you're like alien royalty? Zari nodded once. Exiled. Hidden, hunted. My parents vanished in a silent rebellion. I was placed in hiding. My bond token was disguised as something harmless. The GIF you accepted was part of a lost cultural program. A survival test. Jason sat down, his head spinning. You mean you were testing people through memes? Zari tilted her head. It was not meant to spread, but someone released it through a forgotten Earth signal chain. You saw it. You responded. And now the system thinks I've chosen a partner worthy of ancient access. Jason blinked. Ancient access, what does that mean? Zari walked to a stone platform nearby. She placed her hand on it. The stone cracked open, revealing a hidden panel. She pulled out a long, thin crystal and handed it to Jason. This is an inheritance key. It only works if the bond is real, if your DNA syncs with the arc thread. Jason hesitated. He touched the key. It pulsed. Entire field lit up in golden lines. Symbols in the sky rearranged themselves. A soft, low sound vibrated in his chest. Zari stepped back slowly, her voice shaking for the first time. It's true. You are not fully Earth-born. Somewhere in your past, there's arc thread blood. Jason looked down at the glowing ground. But how? I was just a normal guy. I mean, I played video games. I failed math twice. I ate cereal for dinner last night. Zari walked toward him. She held his face gently. This galaxy hides more than you know. Many planets were seeded. Earth was one of them. Your kind forgot, but the stars never did. Jason felt like the universe had flipped. Everything he knew, everything he was, suddenly felt small and huge. At the same time, he asked in a quiet voice, so why me? Why now? Zari stepped away. Her robe began to shimmer brighter. This bond was not supposed to activate, but now that it has, the hunter is only the beginning. Others will come. Some will want to control you, some will want to destroy you, and a few will kneel before you. Jason laughed without smiling. This is insane. I just clicked a cute GIF, and now I'm part alien royalty with forgotten DNA and a price on my head. Zari didn't laugh. She placed a small device on his wrist. It wrapped around like liquid metal. This will hide your signal for now, but only if you stay near me. Our connection strengthens your cloak. Distance weakens it. Jason looked at her closely for the first time. Not as an alien, not as a stranger, but as someone caught in the same chaos, just trying to survive. He asked, what happens if the council finds out I have arc blood? What if they try to use me? Zari's face turned serious. They won't try. They will succeed unless we find the temple. The place where the arc thread began. The place that only you can open. Jason took a deep breath. 1,000 questions in his head, but only one path in front of him. He stood up, tightened his jacket, and looked at the glowing sky. Let's find this temple before someone else does. Zari smiled, and the planet around them shifted, as if listening. The Galactic Council wants me, Diad. They stood at the edge of nothing. Before them stretched a sky with no stars, a horizon that blinked like it was made of glass. Behind them, the world they came from was already fading before them, a place no human had ever seen and survived. Zari held Jason's hand. Her grip was steady, but her breath was slow. She wasn't afraid, but she was preparing. This is council space. No planets, only code, only law. They built it between dimensions to keep emotion out. Jason looked around. No color, no sound, just echoes of light that didn't shine. He whispered, they live here. Zari nodded. They exist here. They speak through vibration. They watch all bonds. They punish without warning. Jason felt cold in his bones, like his thoughts were freezing. The mark on his hand was glowing red now. Not warm, not soft. It pulsed like a warning. A platform appeared under their feet. Not built, not metal. It simply became like the space decided it should exist. Then they were surrounded not by people, not by creatures, but by forms made of thought, tall, still, voiceless. Wrapped in armor that looked like frozen smoke, Ixari lowered her head. Jason followed. Then the voice came. Not a voice, more like thunder that had learned to whisper. While you have broken the law of threads, you have bonded without permission. The human is a risk. Remove a chime. Jason stepped back, but the platform followed him. He couldn't run. He couldn't fall. This place didn't allow it. Sari spoke, her voice clear, her body still. The bond was not forced. The signal was clear. The ancient code confirmed compatibility. He is not a danger. He is a doorway. The council forms turned slightly, their helmets blinked once, then again. Shy's unlikely humans are unstructured, weak. I am Polisive. Jason stepped forward, his hands shaking, but his eyes strong. Didn't choose this, but I didn't run either. Your systems chose me. Your law lit up my DNA. So now I'm here. Now I'm part of this. The council fell silent. Then the platform split. A new figure rose from the center, taller, darker. Its body flickered like shattered glass. Perovem. Zari moved fast. She pulled a sphere from her robe, crushed it in her hand. The air filled with old language, symbols, colors, memories. Jason saw flashes, cities of light, wars without fire, a child in a crystal Zaxareth. Council leaned in silent, but watching. Jason felt something in his chest, a pulling like a string being tuned. Then without thinking he raised his hand. The mark exploded in gold. The entire space cracked. The air hummed. And the council stepped back. Zari whispered, "It's awakening. You're triggering the archive." Jason's eyes glowed. He wasn't afraid. He wasn't confused. He saw everything. The arc thread, the migrations, the seeds, Earth forgotten, buried under noise and time. He dropped to one knee. Not from pain, but from weight. The weight of being chosen. The weight of being real. The council stepped forward. TCIS changes the judgment. The bond is not illegal, but IT is unstable. The human must be TG. Jason stood up slowly. Test me then. Just stop sending ships to my home. Stop hunting me like a glitch. The lead form blinked. While you will enter the core, you will face yourself. If you survive, you may stay. If you fail, you will be erased from thread. Zari grabbed his arm. Don't agree. The core is not a place. It's a mind trap. Many never return. Jason looked at her, his voice low. If this is what it takes to end the hunt, to prove I belong, then I'll go. The council pointed. A door opened in the sky. Not a door, more like a tear in space. Jason took a breath. He stepped forward and vanished. Zari was left alone, silent. Still. The council turned to her. If he fails, the thread will break, and you will be forgotten. Zari didn't answer. She just waited, eyes fixed on the tear in space, heart silent, but ready, because she knew Jason was no longer just human. I married an alien, and now I rule a star empire. There was no floor, no sky, no light, no air. Jason floated in a place that didn't follow time, a space that didn't follow space. The core was not a room. It was a test, a mirror, a weight placed on the mind, not the body. Jason saw nothing, but he felt everything. Voices, millions all at once, speaking his name, speaking truths he didn't understand. He saw Earth. He saw it from above, small, beautiful, full of noise and kindness and fear. He saw Zari, waiting, hoping. Then he saw himself, not just one, but hundreds of versions. Him if he had run, him if he had fought, him if he had never clicked that GIF. All of them stared at him. Only one spoke. You are not special. You are just the one who said yes. Jason didn't answer. He didn't look away. Then the versions vanished. The light returned, and the core asked a single question, not in sound, but in thought. We owe Jason breath, not through lungs, but through memory. He spoke. I am Jason. I am human. I am confused, but I choose, and I chose her. The core pulsed. Do you accept the Tiakari? Jason closed his eyes. I do. Silence. Then light exploded from his chest. The mark turned gold. The air bent around him, and the void shattered. He was standing again. Not floating, not dreaming. He stood in front of the council, his eyes glowing like suns, his voice quiet but deep. It's done. The council took a step back. T-Core has spoken. The threat is valid. The hunt is ended. The human is recognized. Zedziri rushed forward, her eyes wide, her voice inside his heart. You came back, you made it, Jason smiled. Didn't even break a sweat. They stood together, one bond, one light. Then the sky above them opened. A fleet appeared, ships from a forgotten empire. No weapons, no warning, just presence. The archive awakened. Jason turned to the council. What now? The lead figure bent its head. No, you are religious, and blinked. Wait, what rule? I just passed a test. Zari placed her hand on his shoulder. The arc thread has no throne. It responds to activation, to resonance, and you just became its center. Jason looked up at the ships. Each one hummed his mark. Each one echoed his bond. He whispered, so I married an alien, and now I command a star empire. Zari smiled. The universe has strange taste. The council began to fade, their voices now softer. USE. The thread wisely, many will follow, many will fear, but few will you and Dzares die. And Jason stood taller, not with pride, but with purpose. I didn't ask for this, but I won't waste it. No more hiding, no more fear. We build now, we protect. Zari nodded. Together, the sky responded. A new constellation formed, the spiral mark, now among the stars. Jason turned to Zari. I still don't get half of what just happened, but I know one thing. She leaned closer. What's that? Jason smiled. I don't regret the GIF. And with that, the ship opened, the stars aligned, and two figures stepped forward into the galaxy, not as fugitives, not as lovers, but as the beginning of something new.